Ord. Alright, so for all the band members that ever played, we're at the corner of Calamity and Giggling. That is what's left of the 7th Infantry Division Light Band Hall. We moved into this band hall, oh gosh, I don't know, probably about, what was it, 86? I think we moved into this band hall 86. I don't know if they continued to use it right up until the closing of the base, but this is it. And fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, get into this building, it's busted open. So let's go check it out. Obviously, they don't maintain the lawn here, do they?
I don't know if that was a lawn or not.
No, it was mostly just dirt we used to make lawns in. You can look at it. This, of course, is the rear loading area where we used to fall out for PT formation in the mornings. For a 2-mile run up Giggling Road past the hospital and out back. And of course, we come back.
We went to the Army hospital?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still considered part of the Army. I think they made it part of the Defense Language Institute over in Monterey, which is still open. And here's a shot looking north on the loading dock. As you can see, the boards clearly have been there forever and ever and ever. So it's really been boarded up and forgotten. And here we go. We'll go inside. I don't know how much this will catch because it's kind of dark in the back part, but this is where we used to fall out. It used to be an old kitchen, actually, a long time ago, the mess hall, and so we ended up using, you know, like this freezer area here to store equipment in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I used to use that. There's another room off here to the side, but it's not lit, so I really can't get a picture of that. And then there's the old broom closet right here. And I find this kind of a interesting epithet for the building. I'm not sure if this will pick it up. Yes, it's the re-enlistment office where you would sign back up for another tour of duty. I don't remember this being here originally. It may not have been the re-enlistment office to begin with. And then the back area. Now, one thing that I don't remember from when we were here before, this is another freezer over here that we used to store stuff in as well. But one thing I don't really remember so much is the kitchen area. And specifically this area, because as you can tell, this area was boxed in at one point. And when we got to the band hall, none of this area here, I believe, was even remotely visible, except maybe through this door, and I can't remember whether or not there was a door there or it was locked or what. But this whole area, and then the bathrooms were back here as well, in the back corner here. I don't really remember the tables and such being here, but I know we came through this way. Now we're coming out into the main hallway, and all this area right here by the windows all used to be the administrative area. All of your paperwork people that were handling the paperwork for the band, Smitty, who else? Almo was the re-enlistment NCO at the time. Sergeant Caldwell when I was here. He was handling some stuff. I think Sergeant McNeil handled some stuff. And this was where their cubicles and their office area desks were all set up at, right in this area here. This was the administrative area. And then all along, well, on this wall right here, which points back toward that kitchen area that I thought was closed off, there used to be two practice units. There was like standalone practice units that were like little rooms that you would go into practice. There was two against this wall. And then all along this hallway, up to about that door, were a bunch of them. They were all lined up. In fact, the electrical outlets that they ran so that they could put electricity to the practice cubes were... Yeah, I got a picture of that. So that's the main hallway coming down from the entryway, which Barbara's coming back from, we'll get to in a minute. Then this would have been the senior NCO. Sergeant James Pratt would sit in this office here, I believe, if I remember correctly. And this is what's left of his office. I'll tell you about that room in a minute. It's actually pretty interesting because it didn't look like that when I was here. That was kind of added on after the fact. And as you can see, the vandals have come and punched holes in the wall, and the boards on the window only go about halfway up, and the radiator unit still looks like it might even actually function. But so this was our senior NCO, and then over here would have been XO, Executive Officer, which when I was here was Chief Warrant Officer O'Brien. So this would have been his office right here. You can see the paint is actually starting to peel off the bricks after all these years, and his desk used to be right there. In fact, I remember when I still have the mouthpiece too for the saxophone. I had them order me a Michael Brecker model mouthpiece for my tenor sax, and I remember just about close to the day I left, it was either I had to give the mouthpiece back to the Army, which nobody wanted, or come in here and ask our commander if I could take it with me. So his desk was right here, and I had to walk in with, gosh, what was her name? The supply sergeant, and stand at parade rest and ask for the mouthpiece, and he gave it to me. And then this room here didn't exist in the way you see it now. Back when I was in, they kind of did all this stuff after I got out, and it's kind of hard to tell with the lighting on the camera, but basically this became a recording booth. They bought a bunch of recording gear, and I do remember making the trip up to Santa Cruz and some various other places with a couple of the high-ranking NCOs for the band, because they got the go-ahead to turn this into a recordable facility. And Private Radetzky, or Specialist Radetzky, he played trombone in the band. It was also a bit of an audiophile. And they built this out to be a recording booth sort of room. And they filled it with a lot of recording gear. And used to record the band through those windows that I showed you. This is the main entryway right here. And over in that corner, right over here, I'll zoom in, that used to be where the night watch desk was, and we'd have to, everybody had a shift at the night watch desk, and